the guest. Relevant cell messages are displayed according to for rates and room availability and the process of logging a turnaway. Reservations are a key source of information in Opera Cloud that specify a guest's arrival and departure dates, room type, rate packages, and various other details. Reservations are also a gateway to other functions that contribute to the guest's experience. You can book reservations for guests via the Look to Book sales screen. The Look to Book sales screen, also known as LTB, is used when you are booking a future stay for a guest. LTB is a streamlined, all-encompassing sales window that enables you to easily book reservations for new and returning guests alike. Begin by clicking the Bookings menu. Next, click Reservations and then click Look to Book Sales screen. There are three key areas of the Look to Book sales screen: cell messages, search, and minimum stay availability. Let's take a look at each of these areas. Cell messages communicate important messages or selling features like current promotions that you can use to book the guest. Relevant cell messages are displayed according to the reservation flow and selections you made. The Cell Messages link contains a numerical indicator to quickly show you the number of messages in this area. If you were to click the X to close the cell messages, you can click the link if you need to review them again. The search area is where you are able to use filters to search for available rooms. At the top of the search section, there are options for you to search by single rate and multi-segment. The single rate option is for standard reservations and is the one most commonly used. Let's take a quick look at the multi-segment option. You would use the multi-segment option in multi-property environments when a guest is going to need back-to-back reservations at different properties. One leg is initially available to you for the potential itinerary. You are able to click the Add Leg link to add additional legs to the itinerary. You must first enter a date in the Leg 1 field before you are able to add an additional leg. Let's return to the single rate view. The property field is auto-populated. If you are in a multi-property environment, you would click the search icon to select a different property. If you click the link in the lower right corner of the property field, the property code and property name will appear in the window. Click anywhere within the window to close the pop-up. The arrival date field is where you enter the start date for the reservation. Click the calendar icon to select an arrival date. In this example, we will select March 22nd. Next, you will need to specify the number of nights by entering the number directly into the nights field or using the plus and minus icons. In this example, our guest is staying for 2 nights. The date in the departure field automatically changes based on the arrival date and the number of nights. If you need to further refine your search, you can use the plus or minus icons to specify the number of rooms, adults, and children. The Profile Options section in the search area is where you can select an existing profile or create a new one that can be linked to this reservation. You can search by a guest's name, email address, membership number, company, or travel agent name. All reservations require a guest profile. You can also click the New Profile link if you need to create a new profile to link to the reservation. The process of creating a profile is covered in depth in the Profiles course. The Rate and Room Options section of the search area is where you are able to limit your search to specific rates, rooms, and preferences. For example, if a guest is requesting a room with a certain amount of beds or a smoking or non-smoking room, you can use the corresponding fields to search for rooms that meet those needs. The information that appears in the minimum stay availability area is dependent on the search and availability rates that appear once you have conducted your search. Using the information we already entered, let's click the search button. The number of rooms available for each room type based on your search now appear in the minimum stay availability section. The Availability tab displays the rate and availability details for the first night. The total number of rooms available for the property are displayed to the right of the property. If you were to click the property name link, the property brochure would appear. The property brochure is a tool that enables you to easily provide guests with details about the property and the surrounding area. We will cover the property brochure in depth in a later lesson. When you click a room type, Opera Cloud highlights the corresponding rate code amounts. The rate codes are categorized into display sets. This assists with viewing rates on the LTB screen. Each display set is indicated by a code and description. When you click the Expand button for an available row, you can view additional details for the display set. For this example, we will click the Q2 room type for the daily rate. If you select a rate code and room type combination, additional information is displayed. Click the View Policies link. From the View Policies dialog box, you are able to view the deposit and cancellation rules for each reservation type. To see the calculated amount for each policy, click the Show Estimated Amount link. The Estimated Amount column now appears in the dialog box. You can click the Hide Estimated Amount link if you no longer want to see this column. Click Close. Let's scroll down and learn about the Rate Information tab. You are able to view the total amount charged for each night from the Rate Information tab. To see a detailed breakdown for a specific night of the stay, click the information icon. The Rate Details window shows how the revenue is allocated for the selected night of the stay. You can click the Back button, click Close, or use the Escape key on your keyboard to close the Rate Details dialog box. Let's scroll back up to the minimum stay availability area. Once you have verified your room and rate details, you would click the Select button to make the reservation. Alternatively, you can double-click or drag and drop the room rate and room type combination into the Trip Composer. The Trip Composer is similar to a shopping cart. It is used to collect multiple reservations for different dates, rates, room types, and/or properties. Let's return to the top of the window and look at another example with reservation dates that overlap a rate change. First, we will change the quantity in the nights field to 4, then click Search to update our results. When the rate changes during the reservation stay, a number appears next to the rate that indicates the number of changes. For example, some of the room types in this example now display a 2 next to the rate amount because there are 2 changes. There are pricing display options at the top of the tab. First night is selected by default. When you click the Average option, the rates update to show the average amount per night for the stay. When you click the Total option, the rate updates to show the amount for the entire stay excluding taxes. If you want to view the rate for each day of the reservation, you can simply scroll down to the Rate Information tab. To exit the LTB screen without confirming a reservation, click the Exit Booking button at the bottom of the window. When you click the Exit Booking button, the Turnaway dialog box appears. This dialog box is used to record statistical information for inquiries that did not result in a booking. You are not required to record data in the Turnaway dialog box. This will depend on the preference of your property. You would click the Exit Booking button to close the dialog box without entering any data. Please refer to your property's policies for Turnaway recording. If you are entering data for the inquiry, begin by clicking the Turnaway Code Fields search icon to specify a reason the reservation wasn't confirmed. After you have designated a Turnaway code, click the Select button. The comment field is optional and used to enter additional information regarding this inquiry. The additional fields in the dialog box are automatically populated based on selections made for the LTB screen. You can also choose to manually enter data in these fields. Once you have entered all the required data, you would click the Record Turnaway button and be returned to the Opera Cloud dashboard. This lesson covered navigating to the Look to Book Sales screen, exploring options in the Look to Book Sales screen, searching for rates, and creating a new reservation. This lesson will cover identifying the fields and options available within the reservation details window and the process of creating a new reservation. We will begin by navigating to the Look to Book sales screen. In the Look to Book sales screen lesson, we discussed the fact that you are able to book reservations for a guest here. For more information on how to navigate to the Look to Book sales screen or how to search for rate and room availability, refer to this lesson or the Hospitality Opera Cloud Services User Guide. After you have entered the necessary reservation details, click the search button. The search results display the following rate and room options. For the purposes of this example, we will expand the discounted rates display set. Select the Q2D rate type with a 20% discount. After you have verified the room and rate details, click the Select button. You are brought to the Reservation Details window where you are able to officially book this reservation. There are 4 sections that make up the Reservation Details window. In the Stay Information section, you are able to view the information entered on the Look to Book sales screen. If you click the Rate link, the Rate Information dialog box will appear, and here you can view the rate information so that you may share it with the guest. The Guest Information section is where you are able to link a profile to the reservation. Click the search icon if the guest has an existing profile. If the guest does not have a profile, click the New Profile link to create a profile. You can refer to the Creating Profiles course or the Hospitality Opera Cloud Services User Guide for more information. In this example, we will enter the last name of the guest to search for the guest profile. If you need to further refine your search, you can enter additional details. A list of guest profiles appear in the Profile Search dialog box. Let's scroll down to view the full list. After clicking the profile, click the Select button. The profile we selected now appears in the Name field. The Booking Details section is where you are able to specify additional reservation details and complete the booking. A reservation type must be assigned to determine whether the reservation is deducted or not deducted from availability, as well as whether it's guaranteed. In this example, the reservation type is set to CC, which is short for credit card. When you click the reservation type search icon, you are able to view a full list of available reservation types. In this example, we will leave credit card guaranteed as the reservation type. Click the Select button to proceed. The purpose of the Market field is to track production and generate reports that correspond to the property's marketing strategy. The market code displayed has been auto-populated according to the selected rate code. The purpose of the Source field is to designate and track the source of business. This can indicate whether the reservation was made directly by the guest or booked through a third party, such as a travel agent, a wholesaler, or central reservation system. Source codes may also be used to record the advertising source for reporting. When you click the Source field's search icon, you are able to view a list of available source codes. Click the source code, then click the Select button. The Arrival Time field is where you enter the anticipated arrival time of the guest. In the Room Type to Charge field, also known as RTC, you specify the room type that determines how the guest will be charged. The default RTC is the room type originally booked on the Look to Book sales screen. If you are upgrading a guest, you would typically change the physical room type the guest is staying in while leaving the RTC unchanged. This will keep the original rate amount intact and allow for tracking of the original room type information for the guest. The Rate field is where you enter the amount that is charged per night for the stay. Once you have updated the rate, the Fixed Rate checkbox needs to be checked. The Fixed Rate checkbox indicates that the rate was changed manually or that the amount sent from an external system is different from the rate code amount. The discount amount or discount percentage are other ways you can adjust and reduce the rate. When you use these fields, it is required that you select a discount code to explain the reason for the discounted rate. When you click the Show More link, you are able to view additional booking details. The Purpose of Stay field is used to record the reason the guest is staying at your property. Click the search icon to view a list of Purpose of Stay codes. Select the purpose of the stay, then click the Select button. In the room field, you can assign a room number to the guest. You can use the Specials field to select any requests a guest has made pertaining to their stay. Use the Room Features field to select the features the guest would like for their room. The combination of selected features will impact which rooms are available for you to select from. The Smoking Preference field is where you would specify if the guest prefers a smoking or non-smoking room. The Notes field is where you are able to enter comments or explanatory information regarding the reservation. For example, you can make a note that the guest will call back with an arrival time. Let's scroll down to the Payment Information section where you specify how the guest will pay for the reservation. You are able to add routing instructions while you are creating the reservation. We will cover routing instructions in depth in the Reservations routing course. Use the Method field to designate the payment method for the reservation. Let's click the Method drop-down and select Visa as our payment method. You will need to enter the guest's credit card information in the card number, expiration, and cardholder fields. For security purposes, Opera Cloud automatically masks credit card information you enter. Click the Add to Trip Composer button. The Trip Composer is essentially a shopping cart that holds this reservation while enabling you to create additional reservations for this guest. To finalize the reservation, click the Book Now button. If the closing script is activated, you are required to click Confirm to complete the booking and generate a confirmation number. In this example, a closed script is not activated and we are brought to the reservation window where we are able to review and make edits to the reservation. Scroll down and click the Exit Booking button to return to the dashboard. This lesson covered identifying the fields and options available within the Reservation Details window and the process of creating a new reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Walk-in reservation. This lesson will cover navigating to the walk-in reservation window, the process of creating a walk-in reservation, and the process of checking in a walk-in reservation. A walk-in reservation is exactly what it sounds like. A same-day booking for a guest who does not currently have a reservation and will be checking in right away. To navigate to the walk-in reservation window, begin by clicking the Bookings menu. Next, click Reservations and then click Walk-in Reservation. The walk-in reservation window is identical to the Look to Book sales screen. The only difference is that because a walk-in reservation will be immediately checked in, the date in the arrival field is automatically entered as the current Opera Cloud business date. Add your necessary filters, then click the Search button. Rates and availability will appear according to your search criteria. To review the details for the rate code, you will click the Rate and Room Type combination. These details can be used to communicate what is going to be booked for the guest. Once you have selected a room type and rate, click the Select button. After you confirm the accuracy of the stay information, you will need to enter data in the required fields in the Guest Information and Booking Details sections of the window. Required fields are indicated by a red asterisk. In the Guest Information section, you are able to search for an existing profile or create a new one. In this example, we will create a new profile. Click the New link. Enter the primary details for the guest. For a detailed explanation on creating profiles, please review the Guest Profiles lesson. You can also enter communication details for the guest. In this example, we will enter a mobile telephone number into the Communication Value field. Scroll down, then click the Save and Select Profile button. The fields in the Booking Details section are populated based on our previous selections. If you would like more detail on the purpose of each of these fields, review the Creating a Reservation lesson. As you can see, the source field is a required field and is currently blank. Let's click the search icon to view our options. Click the Walk-in option and then click the Select button. Next, you will need to enter a method of payment in order to successfully book the reservation. Now that the payment information has been entered, click the Book Now button. You are then taken to the room selection section. This step must be fulfilled to complete the booking. Opera Cloud will automatically populate a room number in the suggested room field with additional available rooms listed below. Once you have decided on a room number for the guest, click the Accept Room Selection button. After you have verified the payment information, click the Complete Check-in button to finalize the walk-in reservation. Because we used a credit card as our method of payment, the Payment Authorization dialog box will appear and ask you to confirm the payment. Additional dialog boxes may appear as well. For example, you could be prompted to create room keys. The walk-in reservation has been updated to the status of checked in. To access guest transactions and folios, click the Go to Billing button. Click the Go to Reservation button to access the guest reservation and review reservation details or make updates. We are finished now, so we will scroll down and click the Exit Booking button to return to the dashboard. This lesson covers refresh deposit and rate amounts. This lesson will cover your ability to refresh the deposit amount and stay details when there are any rate changes. Begin by clicking the Bookings menu. Next, click Reservations and then click Look to Book Sales screen. This example will use a search using just the arrival date and the number of nights. Click the Search button. Next, select a rate code and room type combination to view additional information and then click the View Policies link. From the View Policies dialog box, you are able to view the deposit and cancellation rules for each reservation type. Click the Show Estimated Amount link to see the calculated amount for each policy. The deposit policy shows that a deposit of $232, which is 50% of the room stay, is required by the 4th of March. Click Close. After you verify the room and rate specifications, click the Select button to make the reservation. The Look to Book Sales screen has several sections. On the left is the Stay Information section where you can view the dates, number of guests, room type, and rate details. You can also view the reservation's deposit and cancellation requirements. To the right is the Guest Information section where you are able to enter any details necessary to complete the reservation. The rate and total cost of stay fields are automatically updated when you enter a value in the discount percentage field. When you make any changes that impact the rate, click the Refresh link that appears beneath the deposit amount. The link will also appear when you make any changes that reduce the total cost of the guest's stay. When you remove the value in the discount percent field, you will need to click the Refresh link again to review the updated deposit amount. The same is true when you make updates to any other field that impacts the rate, like changing the room type or adding a package. When we make changes to the discount amount field, we will need to click the Refresh link again. After you verify the updated deposit amount is correct, you will need to complete the required fields necessary to book the reservation. Attach a guest profile, complete any required fields, and then click the Book Now button. Click the Stay Details link to open the dialog box. From here, you are able to view the rate, effective rate, and the total cost of stay. You can click the Edit link to modify any available fields. The total cost of stay field is hidden when you are in edit mode and becomes visible again when you save your changes. You can refresh the rate amounts when you click the Refresh Rates link just beneath the rate amount. In this first example, we will remove the discount amount and the discount code. The refresh link appears again when we make these changes. When you change the rate code, apply a discount, update the fixed rate or number of adults, the rate amount is hidden, so you will need to click the refresh link to get the updated value. After you click the refresh rate link, you can see the rate amount and effective rate were both updated. Click the room type search icon to open the Search and Select dialog box. When you click to select another room type and then click the Select button, the warning dialog box will appear confirming that the room type has been changed and asks you if you would like to change the RTC as well. Click the Yes button. The Refresh Rates link now appears in place of the Rate Amount field. After you click the Refresh Rate link, you can see the rate amount and effective rates were both updated. Click the Save button to update the rate amount, effective rate, and total cost of stay. This lesson covered your ability to refresh the deposit amount and stay details when Profile Mailing Privacy Control. This lesson will cover adding profile privacy options while creating a profile in QuickBook. Profile Mailing Privacy in Opera Cloud enables the Privacy panel to display fields related to preferences in regards to receiving promotional mailings and communications. Guests can opt in or out of specific types of communications. Click the Bookings menu. Next, click Reservations and then click QuickBook. Now, let's click the Create Profile link to open the Guest Profile dialog box. Enter the primary details for the guest profile and then enter contact information in the phone, email, fax section. Next, enter the guest's address. When you are finished, click the Save and Select Profile button. When the Profile Mailing Privacy Opera control is active, the Privacy dialog box appears where you are able to specify privacy options before saving the profile. Begin by entering the salutation, envelope greeting, and primary email to use in communication with this guest. Below, there are options for different types of mailings and communication. In this example, we are selecting options for the guest's opt-in preference. Options that are unselected are the types of communication that the guest has opted out of. Click the Save button to return to the QuickBook window. In this example, we will exit without completing the reservation. Click the Cancel link. Next, let's verify the privacy details were correctly saved to the profile. Click the Client Relations menu. Next, click Profiles and then click Manage Profile. We will enter the profile name we created in the earlier example and then click the Search button. Click the profile name to open the Manage Profile window. Click the Correspondence link to open the dialog box. You can now see the Correspondence dialog box containing the information we entered earlier for the guest. This lesson covered adding profile privacy options while creating a profile in QuickBook. Stay details and daily details. This lesson will cover viewing and editing stay details and viewing and editing daily details. Stay details are essentially an overview of reservation information. You are able to change stay details including rate codes, room types, and the length of the stay. In addition, you can change the daily details of the rate. Click the I Want To link. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Stay Details link. The Stay Details dialog box displays a snapshot of reservation information. If you click an available link, you are able to edit the information in the field. Click the Rate link. The Rate Info dialog box opens. A nightly breakdown of stay information is displayed. This includes any packages or generates as well as deposit and routing information. Click the Close button. If you want to begin to make changes to stay details, click the Edit link. All fields that can be updated here are open for changes. From here, you would make your desired changes and then click the Save button. In this lesson, we will not make any changes, so we'll click the Cancel link. The numbered icon next to the rate indicates that there are rate changes during the stay. You can view the changes in the rate when you click the Daily Details tab. With the Daily Details tab, you are able to modify rate details based on the stay date. To make changes, click the desired date, click the ellipsis, and then click the Edit link. Now you are able to make any changes to the daily details. In this example, we will change the rate amount to $250. To do this, you would click into the field and then enter the new amount. Once the rate has been updated, the fixed rate checkbox will automatically be selected. This indicates that the rate amount was manually changed. The discount amount has also been automatically populated with the difference in rate. When the discount amount is populated, a discount code must be selected to explain the change in rate. After you have highlighted your desired code, click the Select button. After completing your updates, click the Save button. The updated rate is now shown and the fixed rate checkbox is selected. Now click the Details tab. Notice the fixed rate field now has an indicator to signal a change in the fixed rate during the stay. When you click the Edit with Look to Book link, you are brought to the Look to Book sales window. Here, you are able to look for rates and availability for this reservation as if you were booking the initial reservation. This type of search is used if the guest will be changing the dates of their stay, inquiring about a different room type, or looking for a different rate. The stay dates, guest name, and the current rate code is pre-populated according to the reservation details. For this example, the number of adults will be increased. Click the Search button. The search results display updated rates and availability based on the entered criteria. You can click and drag the desired room type and/or rate code to the trip composer. Once the new rate code and/or room type is moved to the trip composer, there will be a comparison of the original details and the proposed changes. To accept the changes, click Confirm. In this example, there will be no changes, so we will click the up arrow. Now, click the Back to Manage Reservation link. This lesson covered viewing and editing stay details and viewing and editing payment instructions. This lesson will cover editing payment instructions. From the Payment Instructions window, you are able to define how the reservation will be paid. Click the I Want To link for the reservation. Click the Payment Instructions link. The Payment Instructions dialog box is used to add or edit payment methods. The Window Payment Methods and Routing section lists all payment methods attached to the reservation. There is also a window column indicating which window each payment is attached to and the columns that note any routing instructions and routing dates attached to the window. Click the New Edit Payment Instructions button. The No Post checkbox is used to prevent external systems such as a point of sale or POS from posting charges to the reservation. If this box is checked, the user will be prompted with a warning when posting in Opera Cloud. If the pre-stay charging box is checked, you are able to post charges to the reservation before the guest arrives to the property. If the post-stay charging box is checked, you are able to post charges to the reservation after the guest has checked out. The Reservation Type field specifies the guarantee method of the reservation. The Window Payment Methods section displays a tab for each of the folio windows. You can click each tab to add a payment method for the folio window. If necessary, you can click the ellipsis, then click the Move Payment Method link to move the payment method from one window to another. In the Method field, you are able to choose how charges for this window will be paid. Available options include cash, check, and credit card. When a credit card is used, the information is captured in the card number, expiration, and cardholder fields. With the Rule drop-down field, you are able to choose an authorization rule to use when approving credit card transactions. The Amount field is used to enter any additional amount being authorized for incidentals based on the rule you chose. The Credit Card Terminal field is where you designate the workstation with the credit card capture device for this user. This field can be changed based on where the user is logged in. The Opt-in Email Folio checkbox is used to indicate that this guest would like their folio emailed to them. If there is no email address displayed, you can enter an email address from this window. Click the Cancel link. Now, click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. This lesson covered editing payment instructions. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Confirmation letters. This lesson will cover sending a confirmation letter from a reservation. From the Confirmation Letters window, you are able to preview, print, and send confirmation of a reservation to any profiles that are linked to it. From the Manage Reservations window, click the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Confirmation Letters link. Confirmation letters can be processed for individual reservations or in a batch via the Reservations workspace menu. To begin to send the confirmation letter to the guest, click the Email Print button. From here, you can decide who should receive the confirmation letter. This dialog box is divided into primary and secondary sections. The primary section displays the profile attached to the reservation. You can click the Send To drop-down to change who receives the letter based on profiles attached to the reservation. The To email field will populate the email address attached to the selected recipient. If the guest has multiple email addresses, you can use the drop-down to choose the preferred address. If no email address is on file, you can click the New Edit Email link to add an email address. The Mandatory Confirmation Letter field is where you select a specific letter. Based on property configuration, a letter may auto-populate in this field. In the secondary section, you have the option to send a letter to another profile attached to the reservation. For example, a travel agent could have booked the reservation and would like confirmation letters sent to them and the guest that will actually be staying at the property. Clicking the Send button will email the letter immediately. In this example, we will click the Save button. The confirmation letter is now attached to the reservation without actually sending it out, and it's listed in the dialog box. You can confirm the delivery status of the letter by reviewing the status column. Because we clicked Save earlier, the status is currently pending. When you click the ellipsis for the confirmation letter, you are able to make additional changes, preview the confirmation letter, or send it to the guest. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. This lesson covered sending a confirmation letter from a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Preferences. This lesson will cover attaching preferences to a reservation. With the Preferences feature, you are able to set the guest's preferred room features or any special requests they may have. From the Manage Reservation window, click the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Preferences link. Preferences are used to accommodate the needs of a guest when assigning rooms. Click the New button. The Available Preference window is divided by Available and Selected Preferences. In the Available section, you have a list of preferences to choose from. Preference codes are organized into preference groups. Begin by clicking the preference you need to add. In this example, we will click the Away from Elevator preference. If necessary, you can use the Control key to select more than one option from the list. In this example, we will also select High Floor. Click the Add button to move the codes to the Selected section. If you needed to add all available preferences, you would simply click the Add All button without having to select them first. Remove will move the selected codes back to available, while Remove All will remove all codes. You can click the Save to Reservation and Profile button to save the preferences to both the individual reservation and the guest's profile for future use. For this example, we will click Save so that the preferences only impact this particular reservation. The newly added preferences are listed. Each preference listed has an ellipsis that you can use to take additional actions related to it. Click Close. You are returned to the reservation. When you click the Expand button on the reservation, you can view quick links related to it. Notice that the Preferences link now has a numbered indicator next to it. This is also a second way you can access the Preferences window without using the I Want To button. This lesson covered attaching preferences to a reservation. Attachments. This lesson will cover how to add attachments to a reservation. From the Manage Reservation window, click the I Want To button. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Attachments link. From the Attachments dialog box, you are able to select and upload files that contain details related to the reservation. This can be any type of document, including a contract, special request form, or even a photo of the guest. To begin to attach a file, click the New button. The Upload Attachment dialog box appears. The Attachment field is where you would need to click the Choose File button to begin to search your computer for the file you need to attach to the profile. It is a requirement that attachments are no larger than 2 megabytes in size. The Name field is where you enter the subject of the file being attached. In the Description field, you can enter characteristics or instructions for handling the attachment. After you have entered information in all required fields, click the Save button. The details of the attachment are displayed, including who uploaded the document and what time the action was completed. You can click the ellipsis to access a list that will allow you to delete, preview, or download the attachment. This lesson covered how to add attachments to a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Linked Profiles, Guest Profile. This lesson will cover updating a guest profile on a reservation using linked profiles. Let's begin by searching for a reservation. For this example, we will enter the confirmation number into the field and then click the search button. Click the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Linked Profiles link. From the Linked Profiles dialog box, you are able to view and edit any profiles related to this reservation. At the top of the dialog box, there are 2 tabs. Guest Profile and Associated Profiles. This lesson will focus on the Guest Profile tab. We will review the Associated Profiles tab in a later lesson. On the Guest Profile tab, you can see the profile details for the guest linked to this reservation. Click the Edit link to add or change any of the details of this profile. The Select Another Profile link is used to change the profile to an existing profile or create a new one. Let's click the link. The Profile Search dialog box appears. If you wanted to create a new profile, you would click the Create Guest Profile link. In this example, we want to find the profile that already exists. Let's enter a name into the Name field and then click the Search button. Your search results will appear. When there are multiple guests with the same name, review the profile details to determine which one you need to use. Select the profile from the list, then click the Select button. You are now returned to the Linked Profiles dialog box and the new profile now appears. This will now be reflected on the reservation. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. Because we originally searched for this reservation by confirmation number, you can see the same reservation now displays with the newly selected profile. This lesson covered updating a guest profile on a reservation using linked profiles. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Linked Profiles, Associated Profile. This lesson will cover linking an associated profile to a reservation using linked profiles. In this lesson, we are picking up where we left off in the Guest Profiles lesson in this course. We will explore the Associated Profiles tab on the Linked Profiles dialog box. Begin by clicking the I Want To link. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Linked Profile link. The Linked Profiles dialog box appears. Now, click the Associated Profiles tab. From the Associated Profiles tab, you are able to view or link non-guest profile types, including company or travel agent profiles. This creates an association between the guest and the attached profile and enables you to easily use the profile for routing. To update or add a profile, click the Edit button. You can click the search icon next to the necessary profile type to search for the profile you need to link. Click the Company search icon. The Profile Search dialog box appears. If you need to create a new profile, you would click the Create Company Profile link. In this example, we need to find a profile that already exists. To do this, we will enter a name into the name field and then click the Search button. Your search results will appear. Select the profile you need to link from the search results and then click the Select button. The attached profile now appears in the Linked Profiles dialog box with a summary of the profile's contact information. You can continue associating other profile types. Once you are finished, click the Save button. The associated profile type is now linked to the reservation. To view the profile details, select the name of the profile link. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. There is now an indicator for the linked profiles on this booking. You can click the link to display the associated profiles. This lesson covered linking an associated profile to a reservation using linked profiles. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Accompanying profiles. This lesson will cover attaching an accompanying profile to a reservation. Accompanying profiles are used to attach additional guests to a reservation. An accompanying guest is a person who occupies a room with another guest but does not require a separate folio for billing. Begin by clicking the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Now, click the Accompanying Profiles link. On the Associated Profiles tab of the Accompany Profiles dialog box, you can view details of any profiles linked to this reservation. Accompanying profiles are located in the bottom section of the dialog box. To add an accompanying profile, click the Edit button. Click the Attach button. The Profile Search dialog box opens. You would need to click the Create Guest Profile link if you need to add a guest who is not already in the system. To find a profile that already exists, you can use any combination of search fields and click the Search button. Your search results will appear. When there are multiple guests with the same name, review the profile details to determine which one is to be used. Select the profile from the list and then click the Select button. You are returned to the Accompanying Profiles dialog box. The accompanying profile now appears in the corresponding section. If necessary, you can click the Attach button to continue adding accompanying profiles. If you click the ellipsis, you are able to detach the highlighted profile. When you are finished making changes, click the Save button. The accompanying profile is now linked to the reservation. If you need to view the profile details, you can click the hyperlink. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. You can now see an indicator next to the accompanying profile link. You can use this link to quickly navigate to the accompanying profiles dialog box if necessary. This lesson covered attaching an accompanying profile to a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Linked reservations. This lesson will cover the process of linking reservations. The Linked Reservations feature in Opera Cloud enables you to associate existing reservations. This can be used for small groups or a guest with reoccurring stays. First, let's search for a reservation. Enter a name into the name field and click the search button. Your search results appear. Click the I Want To link for the reservation. When viewing the I Want To dialog box, you can see multiple options for linking reservations. In the Modify Update section, there is a link to a reservation link that enables you to link this reservation to an existing reservation. To create a new reservation that will be linked to this booking, you would click the Link Reservation link in the Create section. If you were to click this link, you would be taken to the Look to Book sales window. At the bottom of the dialog box in the Reservation section, there is a linked reservation link that you can use to view and edit bookings that are attached to this reservation. This includes shares. For this example, we will click the Link to a Reservation link in the Modify Update section. The Search and Select Reservation dialog box appears. Here, you are able to search for an existing reservation by entering the guest's name into the name field and then pressing the Enter key on your keyboard or clicking the search button. Your search results appear. When there are multiple reservations with the same name, you will determine which reservation is to be used. Click the reservation you need to link and then click the Select button. You are returned to the Manage Reservation window. When you click the Expand button for the reservation, you can now see that there is an indicator for the linked reservation on this booking. You can select the link to display the associated reservation. This lesson covered the process of linking reservations. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Future and past stays. This lesson will cover viewing and accessing future and past stays. Begin by clicking the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Future and Past Stays link. The Future and Past Stays dialog box can be used to view all reservations linked to this guest profile. The top portion of the dialog box will display any future reservations for this guest, while the lower portion displays all past stay reservations, including no-shows and cancellations. Each reservation has an Expand button that you can click to view more details. To access the full reservation details, you would click the Confirmation Number link. This will cause the Manage Reservation window to open in a pop-up browser window. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. This lesson covered viewing and accessing future and past stays. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. This lesson will cover the importance of alerts and the process of creating alerts. Alerts are internal messages used to inform users of details related to the guest or the reservation. To create an alert for a reservation, begin by clicking the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Alerts link. The Alerts dialog box appears. To define the type of alert, click the search icon in the Code field. A property-specific list of codes with pre-configured alert messages will display. Click the code, then click the Select button. Next, you will need to determine when the alert will display in the notification area. Let's talk about the area field. Notice that reservation is automatically populated in this field. We will explain what this option means in just a few moments. Let's click the drop-down to explore the other options. When check-in is selected, the alert will display when the guest is arriving. If you select check-out, the alert will appear when the guest is departing. Reservation is the option that is auto-populated in this field. If you were to leave the reservation option selected, the alert will be displayed every time the booking is accessed. If you were to select in-house, the alert will display while the guest is being checked into the property. In this example, we want the alert to display at check-in, so that's what we'll select. In the description field, pre-configured text that is linked to the code will automatically populate. If necessary, you can update or enter additional text in this field. The Display Alert checkbox is automatically selected. When this checkbox is selected, it causes the alert to display based on the area that is chosen. If this box is not checked, the alert will not appear. When the Print Alert box is checked, the alert will automatically be sent to the printer. The Report and Printer Name fields are automatically activated when the Print Alert checkbox is checked. Now that we're finished here, let's click the Save button. A summary of the alert we created now appears in the Alerts dialog box. You would need to click the ellipsis to edit or delete the note. You would click the New button to create additional alerts for the reservation. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. Notice that there is now an indicator for the alerts on this booking. If action related to the reservation needs to be taken, an Attention Needed indicator will appear next to the I Want To button and the alert link. You can click the link to display the alert for the reservation. This lesson covered the importance of alerts and the process of creating alerts. Traces. This lesson will cover identifying how traces are used and the process of creating traces. Traces are internal communications with actions that are assigned to specific departments. Once a designated task is performed, a trace can be marked complete. To begin, click the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Now, click the Traces link. If there are no existing traces for the reservation, you are taken directly to the dialog box that is used for creating a new trace. Click the Department search icon to begin to specify who is responsible for completing the action for this trace. A property-specific list of departments appears in the dialog box. If necessary, you are able to assign a trace to multiple departments. To do this, click the checkboxes next to each department, then click the Select button. The departments we selected now appear in the Department field. Each department can now generate their specific traces. The From Date and To Date fields are what you use to specify when the action needs to be taken. If a trace is in effect for several days, a trace is created for each day. The Time field is an optional field that can be used to indicate when the trace should be actioned. The Mandatory Trace Text field is where you enter the actionable instructions for the selected department. You can use the Insert Quick Text link to add commonly used instructions. When you click the link, a property-specific list with pre-configured text will display. Click the Cancel link. In this example, we will enter the instructions to deliver a crib to the room manually. Once you have finished, click the Save button. The newly created traces appear in the dialog box. Each department that was previously selected has its own trace. If you were to click the New button, you are able to create additional traces for the reservation. Click the ellipsis to view additional options for a trace. In addition to the Edit and Delete options, there is now an option to complete the trace. To view traces that have already been marked complete, you can click the ellipsis next to the New button and click the Show Completed link. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. There is now an indicator for the traces on this booking. If you need to take additional action related to the reservation, an Attention Needed indicator will appear next to the I Want To button and the Traces link. This lesson covered identifying how traces are used and the process of creating traces. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Guest messages. This lesson will cover identifying how guest messages are used, creating guest messages, and sending guest messages. With the Guest Messages feature, you are able to create and submit messages to be delivered to guests. Begin by clicking the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Guest Messages link. The Guest Messages dialog box appears. If the guest does not have any previous messages, you are taken directly to the dialog box used for creating a new guest message. If you need to print a copy of the message for delivery to the guest, you would click the Print Message checkbox. You would click the Room checkbox when the guest room interface will be used to deliver the message. For example, the interface may activate the telephone's message light or display the message on a television screen in the guest's room. The Name section of the dialog box has fields available for you to enter the guest's name, company if applicable, and their contact information. These are not required fields. Whatever you enter in the Name section will automatically populate in the Guest Messages field. You are still able to enter additional information in this field if necessary. Alternatively, you could click the Insert Quick Text link to view and select one of the pre-configured messages that are available. In this example, we will manually enter additional information in this field. Once you are finished, click the Save button. The newly created guest message now appears in the dialog box. Now, we will demonstrate the process of creating a guest message using the Insert Quick Text link. To create a new guest message, click the New button. The options and contact fields are used in the same way that we discussed in the previous example. Click the Insert Quick Text link. A property-specific list of quick texts will appear in the dialog box. You are able to select multiple options if necessary, but in this case, we will only select one. Click the Select button. The quick text we chose now appears in the Guest Messages field. If necessary, you can edit or enter additional text in the Guest Messages field. When you're done making changes, click the Save button. Both guest messages in the dialog box have status indicators to the left of them. Both statuses are currently displaying as Not Delivered. For additional options, click the ellipsis for the message. There are options available for you to edit, delete, or print the message. There is also an option for you to mark the message as delivered once the guest has received the message. Let's click this option and see how it is automatically removed from the dialog box. If you need to review this message, you would now need to click the ellipsis next to the New button and then click the Show Delivered link. The dialog box now displays both guest messages that have been delivered and not delivered. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. There is now an indicator for guest messages on this booking. If there are additional actions you need to take, an Attention Needed indicator will appear next to the I Want To button and the guest messages link. You can view the guest messages using this quick link below the reservation. This lesson covered identifying how guest messages are used, creating guest messages, and sending guest messages. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Notes. This lesson will cover identifying how reservation notes are used and the process for creating reservation notes. With the Notes feature in Opera Cloud, you are able to attach comments, notes, or other explanatory information to the reservation for this specific stay. To begin to create a note for a reservation, click the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Notes link. If there are no existing notes for the reservation, you are taken directly to the dialog box used for creating a new note. At the top of the dialog box, there are two tabs, Reservation Notes and Profile Notes. The Profile Notes tab is not accessible when creating a note on a reservation. To select the type of note being entered, click the search icon in the Type field. A property-specific list of note types will appear in the dialog box. This list will vary based on the area of Opera Cloud where it is opened. After you have chosen the type, click the Select button. When you click the Internal checkbox, the note is excluded from customer-facing stationery and reports. When configured in Opera Cloud, the description of the type code we selected automatically populates as the title for the note. To designate where a note will display throughout the system, click the Notification Area search icon. The description for each code explains where the note will appear. After you have clicked the Notification Area code, click the Select button. The Comment field is where you are able to enter any details or explanatory information for the note. Once you have finished, click the Save button. The newly created note now appears in the dialog box. You can click the New button if you need to create more notes for this reservation. Click the ellipsis if you need to edit or delete the note. If the guest has profile notes, you will be able to select the tab to review the details. Profile notes can only be updated on the profile. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation screen. There is now an indicator next to the Notes link on this booking. You can click the link to review or add notes to this reservation. This lesson covered identifying how reservation notes are used and the process for creating reservation notes. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Locators. This lesson will cover identifying how locators are used and the process of creating locators. With the Locators feature, you are able to enter information regarding a guest's whereabouts for a certain time period. Locators can be used to communicate the location of a guest to another property as requested. To begin, click the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Locators link. The Locators dialog box appears. Click the New button. The begin date and end date fields are required and used to indicate when the guest will arrive and leave the specified location. The from time and to time fields are also required and used to specify the duration of time the guest intends to be at that location. Next, you must enter details in the location text field to provide details of where the guest is located. If necessary, you can click the Quick Text link and select from a list of pre-configured descriptions. When you select a quick text code from this list, the description of that code will appear in the location text field. Click the Cancel link. While you are able to select from the quick text list and automatically enter information, you can also enter location text manually to specify a location that is not included in the list. Click the Save button. The locator now appears in the dialog box and will automatically become inactive after the specified date and time has expired. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. You can now see a number 1 next to the locator link under the reservation. When there is action you need to take related to the reservation, an Attention Needed indicator displays next to the I Want To button and the locator link. This lesson covered identifying how locators are used and the process of creating locators. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Fixed charges. This lesson will cover identifying fixed charges and applying fixed charges to a reservation. The Fixed Charges feature is a convenient way to automatically post a single charge on a specific date or charges on a regular schedule. Examples of fixed charges can include a rollaway bed or valet parking. To begin to create a fixed charge for a reservation, click the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Fixed Charges link. The Fixed Charges dialog box appears. Click the New button. The Fixed Charges feature is a convenient way to automatically post a single charge on a specific date or charges on a regular schedule. Let's click the Frequency drop-down and choose how often the guest should be charged. If you select once, the charge will post one time on the begin date. When this option is selected, the End Date field is unavailable. If you select weekly, the charge will post once a week based on the range of dates and the day of the week designated in the Date to Execute field. If you select daily, the charges will post each night during the guest's stay. The begin and end dates populate based on the reservation dates. You are able to change these dates if necessary. When the Amount option is selected, the Amount field is used to enter the amount that will be posted for the fixed charge. If you were to select the Percentage of Room Rate option, you are able to enter a percentage of the rate you want to charge the guest. The Transaction field has a search and select icon that you can use to see a list of the available transaction codes. For this example, we will manually enter the valet parking code. In the Quantity field, you are able to determine the number of times the amount will be charged. The number in the Amount field is multiplied by the quantity for each posting. The Supplement field is optional and used to add internal notes about this posting. Once you have finished, click the Save button. A summary of the fixed charge is displayed. To add more fixed charges, you would click the New button. If you click the ellipsis, options will appear for you to edit or delete the fixed charge. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation window. There is now an indicator next to the Fixed Charges link for this booking. You can select the link to display the fixed charges for this reservation. This lesson covered identifying fixed charges and applying fixed charges to a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Item inventory. This lesson will cover the process of booking item inventory for a reservation. The Item Inventory feature in Opera Cloud is available for you to add frequently requested items to a reservation or block, such as a rollaway bed for a room or setup equipment for an event. Begin by clicking the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Item Inventory link. The Item Inventory dialog box appears. There are 3 tabs available here: Packages, Inventory Items, and Daily View. The Item Inventories tab is organized into 2 sections: Available and Selected Inventory Items. You can use the search fields to find specific inventory items and confirm their availability. The Date field will automatically default to the arrival date of the reservation or the current business date if the guest is already checked in. Below the search area, you can see a listing of the available inventory items for the dates of the reservation. To add an item, click the quantity link for the day you need the item. For this example, we will click Sunday's quantity link for the crib. Selected inventory items will appear on the right side of the screen. After verifying the details requested by the guest, click the Confirm Availability icon, which is represented by a check mark. After confirming availability, the updated details for available inventory items reflect the reduced quantity available for you to select from. You may continue to reserve items for this reservation by selecting another item without closing the screen. Once you are finished, click the Save button. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservation screen. There is now an indicator next to the Item Inventory link for this booking. You can click the link to display the item inventory for this reservation. This lesson covered the process of booking item inventory for a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Trackit. This lesson will cover identifying what the Trackit feature is used for and creating Trackit requests. The Trackit feature in Opera Cloud enables a property to manage the storage and delivery of the guest luggage, parcels, vehicles, valet parking, and lost items. Trackit can be linked to a reservation if the item is related to an arrival, in-house, or departure reservation. Trackit requests can be accessed from the Miscellaneous menu. To create a Trackit request, click the I Want To link for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Next, click the Trackit link. The Trackit dialog box appears. Click the New button. In the Group section, you are able to designate the type of item you are tracking. The options you have to select from are parcel, valet, baggage, or lost. In the Trackit number field, you are able to enter a unique identification number for the Trackit item. It is up to the property to define how these ticket numbers are created and assigned. For this example, we will enter 0001 into this field. In the Type field, you are able to select what kind of item is being logged. The available types vary according to the group you selected. The Action field is required and is where you specify what is happening with the item. The actions you are able to select will depend on the group and type you previously selected. The action you select will determine whether this Trackit item will have an open or closed status. For example, the action of storing an item would have an open status, while delivering the item to the guest would have a closed status. The Quantity field is available for you to enter the number of items being logged for this ticket. The Location field is where you enter where the item is stored. The Action Date field is optional and indicates the expected completion date. Using this field can help you manage lost and found items that are kept for multiple days. You can use the Assigned To field to designate an Opera Cloud user to be responsible for the item. In the Description field, you can enter relevant details regarding the Trackit item. Once you have finished, click the Save button. A summary of the Trackit item we created now appears in the dialog box. You can click the New button to create additional Trackit items for this reservation if you need to. The status of Open means the item is still with the property and has not been delivered to the guest. The status of Closed means the item was successfully delivered, so this request has been completed. When you click the ellipsis, options to edit, delete, or view the history for the Trackit item will appear. If you click the View History option, you can see all the changes related to this Trackit item. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservations screen. There is now an indicator next to the Trackit link for this booking. You can click the link to display the Trackit request for this reservation. This lesson covered identifying what the Trackit feature is used for and creating Trackit requests. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching. Transportation. This lesson will cover the process of logging transportation information for a reservation. The transportation feature in Opera Cloud is used to specify pickup and drop-off information for guests. This is helpful when coordinating transportation for a guest or tracking the arrival and departure of VIP guests. Begin by clicking the I Want To button for the reservation. The I Want To dialog box appears. Click the Transportation link. The transportation screen is organized into two sections, Pickup and Drop-Off. To update the details, click the Edit button. In the Pickup section, you are able to enter details regarding transportation for the arriving guest, while the Drop-Off section enables you to enter details regarding the guest's departure. Notice that both sections have the exact same fields. The date and time fields are used to specify the date and time the guest is expected to be picked up or dropped off. When you click the search icon in the Type field, a property-specific list of transportation types will appear for you to choose from. The Station field is used to communicate the airport, train station, or other location where the guest will be picked up or dropped off. The Carrier field is used to communicate the airline, train service, or other transportation company that will be picking up or dropping off the guest. The Transportation Number field is where you enter the flight or route number the guest will be taking. The Notes field is where you enter additional details regarding the guest's travel arrangements. In this example, the fields have been populated with the transportation details for this guest. The checkboxes for Pickup Required and Drop-Off Required indicate that the property will be arranging the transportation for this guest. Once you have entered all the necessary information, click the Save button. You are now able to view the details. If changes are needed, click the Edit button. Click Close to return to the Manage Reservations screen. You can click the link to display the transportation details for this reservation. This lesson covered the process of logging transportation information for a reservation. For more information on Opera Cloud, please review other courses on this topic within Opera Digital Learning. You may also visit the Oracle Hospitality Help Center for Opera Cloud and search for this topic. Keep your eyes peeled for additional videos and courses on Opera Cloud. Thank you for watching.